So as we heard the other day of Brendan Schaub's retirement announcement to stand-up comedy, who's next on the chopping block? But is it really true that Brendan Schaub is done with comedy? Yeah, somehow I doubt that. He still has his foot in the game in Southern California and Northern. He's just taking a break because Bapa just goes. But next on the chopping block, how fitting it would be Bert Kreischer. That's right, Bert, this happened to me, Kreischer, because everything happens to Bert, and he's sitting around on Joe Rogan's podcast with Ari Shaffir and Tom Segura, and they're just checking out some random ski accident video. And of course, Bert, this happened to me, Kreischer, has to interject himself into the conversation to let everybody know this happened to him. Kind of reminds you of somebody, Bapa, yeah, Brendan Schaub, the guy who lies unnecessarily. Everything happens to Brendan Schaub. Brendan Schaub knows everybody. He talks to them every day. You see the similarities? Next up, Bert Kreischer. Here we go.
Was able to keep some composure as this was happening, which is like kind of the craziest part.
Oh my God. So this is the snowboarder that's buried upside down. So this guy just sees that little blue piece.
Bro.
Just randomly.
This happened to me.
Ski right over him.
Yeah, he easily could have missed that.
Yeah, could have gone
Dude,
the other way.
There's not much blue.
Soft snow, he's in a tree well is what it is.
Yeah.
So the tree wells, it's really soft snow. So if you get stuck in a tree well, you are fucking dead. A lot of people die in tree wells.
God damn.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting one of those GPS things.
So when we went snowboarding in Matterhorn, heli skiing, and the guy put a beacon on us. And the first thing he said, he puts a beacon, it's like 4 feet of powder. And he says, this is so we can find the body. And I was like, what? He's like, you might fall into a crevasse or an avalanche. So we put the beacon on to find the body.
Whoa.
That feeling, this happened to me, that feeling is terrifying.
This guy's like, thank you.
Good. We'll get you out of here in a sec, okay?
He was
panic. The panic.
He knew he was dead.
I'm feeling panic watching
The
this.
panic. So what happens is, like what happened to me when we were heli skiing, is I fell face forward in powder. I'd never snowboarding in powder. 4 feet of powder is very different than snow.
So Bert got stuck upside down in a tree well? Yeah, sure, buddy. He probably biffed near a tree and his fat ass couldn't get up. Fast forward a few years and let his insane, narcissistic, alcoholic brain warp the events that took place to turn it into revisionist history, and boom, the dude's a survivor. I mean, look at him, ladies and gentlemen. Bert definitely French fries when he should pizza. And all I will say is that it's more common than you might think. For inexperienced people in the Rockies with deep snow, a buddy of mine who was the least experienced did it twice in one trip. The first time, there was 3 of us to rescue him, and it took 20-ish minutes to get him out after freeing up his face so he could breathe. Luckily, we all had shovels, and the second time I was alone with him, and I got his face out very quickly, but it took almost an hour and a half to get him back on his skis. It was also our last run of the trip, and we were both exhausted. I only share that because those are the facts. However, I am not saying this happened to Bert Kreischer. That's for goddamn sure. You know, and the greatest part of this video clip is that none of them acknowledged him. Not even Joe Rogan or his best pal Tom Segura or even Ari Shaffir acknowledge Bert Kreischer. It's humiliating. Seriously, that was brutal. Not a single one even feigned listening to him. They're all probably so used to his kind of behavior, so they might have learned to tune it out. Sound familiar? Yeah, that happens to Brendan Schaub a lot. I mean, this video clip right here that we just saw is the funniest thing to watch. The other 3 are just going on how, wow, this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. And Bert Kreischer just keeps saying, yeah, but this happened to me. And the other dudes just keep going on how crazy it is and ignoring Bert Kreischer. It's really the best clip he's ever been in for this exact reason. Bert is kind of like, hey guys, stop watching TV. I'm in the room right now. The big Russian bear. Remember that story? Pay attention to me. Hello. Why is no one looking at me? Bert Kreischer is a petulant child. And how is it possible that Bert Kreischer says it 3 times? He says it 3 times. It's happened to me in under 60 seconds. Literally, there was 3 happened happened to me in under 60 seconds. What are we doing here, Bert? And then ultimately, Bert Kreischer says at the end, he just fell in 4 feet of powder. Not that this exact thing happened to him, though, right? That's the only happened to me that he was referring to as far as I picked up. 4 feet of powder for a 6-foot man. Wow, that sounds like a death sentence. Hey guys, this happened to me, but for reals, not a tree well, but flew face first into powder up to my knees. It may not seem crazy, but you can't move and your feet just stick out in the air. Luckily, I wigged enough to free my hand and make some airspace. Had to wait for the homies to come dig me out. F Winter and Bert Kreischer is boring. Hey guys, it's the Ozempic gang, led by Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. Oh, and I heard Brendan Schaub's a part of that Ozempic gang, but Bapa denies it because he says it's just stress. Bert saying, oh, this happened to me. Joe, listen, Joe, Tom, listen, Ari, anybody, listen, everybody stop talking and listen to this story about me, because it's all about me when it comes to Bert Kreischer. So it happened to him, as in Bert fell over near a tree inbounds and got snow on his face. Oh, you're doing great. Bert's become such an insufferable effing moron. And it's crazy how I used to find him funny. It would be cool if these guys had jokes on par with their net worth. And when telling the story, Bert can't even clarify if he was skiing or snowboarding. He just keeps going back and forth, making it sound like he doesn't know the difference between the two. And the other guys keep looking at him and ignoring him, like probably thinking to themselves, oh, here we go again. But seriously, the most interesting thing Bert could do is be quiet more often. Nobody is so funny you want to hear their every waking thought. Hey, Bert Kreischer, quality over quantity. I mean, the guy was so desperate for someone to just acknowledge him so he could tell the made-up story just like Brendan Schaub does. However, nobody did, so he told it anyway. The very first "this happened to me," someone should have just told him to shut the F up. The true story is, Bert probably fell on the bunny slopes and needed help getting up. You know, kind of like how the lowlifes that stole from the other students' backpacks in his trip abroad with his help must have been in the Russian mob. The Russian mob is known for being chaperones to Americans for their trips. They confirmed it when they drank vodka and stole knickknacks from the other kids. Wow, what a wild mafia tale. But by now, everybody knows Bert Kreischer is a liar, just like Brendan Schaub. Bert Kreischer, the same guy who said, I've seen 3 people get struck by lightning in my life. Have ya there, Bubba? Oh, really, dude? Who would all of you put on your Mount Rushmore of stupid when it comes to comedy? We know Brendan Schaub's up there, and Bert Kreischer following him next. Would it be Tom Segura, Joe Rogan, Ari Shaffir, Tony Hinchcliffe, Andrew Schultz? Let me know in the comment section down below. Hell, Brian Callen could be one, or Chris D'Elia. But what's more important is your thoughts, so sound off down there.
Leave certain networks and come over and have me produce it, because I have a great setup with a great group of people. I think we all used to work together at one time that does my ad sales, and it's been very beneficial. And I've learned a lot working with Tom over at your mom's house. And so I'm trying to build mine, and people go, hey, can we just do ours out of yours, and then you can take your cut?
It's complicated.
It gets complicated, and I don't want to, I have enough money, and so I don't want to take money from people, but there's no way to run a business without taking a little bit of money. You can't. And so I just go, fuck it, I'll just do me and my wife. It's me and my wife. I have 2 bears, or I have a Bertcast, your mom's, or God damn it, Bertcast, wife of the party, Something's Burning, and Open Tabs. And I do them out of there, and then we do all our production for like our YouTube channel out of there, and then all the promos come out of there. And then what we're hoping to do is turn it into a media company where, like when we were talking earlier, we're like, I would love the opportunity to help comics sell tickets. It's something I've dialed in on, maybe too much at times, but
you're
like
the best at it.
That's
why I come to you with any of that stuff.
I come up with an idea, and I used to just go, no one will do that. And now I know I can afford it to make them. And they don't all hit. Some miss, but like the ones that hit pop, and then you make a good amount of money selling tickets.
Yeah, you get a return on it.
Well, sometimes like what I'll find is I go to a town, and like people, they see me, like if I go somewhere, I get recognized a lot.
I know where you're going. Is anything worse? They go,
and it's like,
what the fuck you doing here?
They don't know I'm here.
Son, let me tell you.
I'm a fan. What are you doing here?
I'm like, how the fuck I have to rely on this club?
Let's fucking preach. So I have a theory.
Never rely on
You're not successful in comedy, if anyone you go to that city, you're not doing your job. If anytime you go to that city, people go, when are you coming to Boston?
This is what happens to me all day.
This is
Not the
I
worst.
did. So I
So
did.
what do I do about that?
So I learned. This is how I learned.
You get a wig.
Drives me nuts. A wig? I don't know if that's going to work. See, he has bad ideas.
No,
I mean, I'll do it.
No, you do your show and then you put on a wig. It's not a bad idea. No, it's not. Hold on. Stop. That's not a bad idea.
Okay,
That's
so-
not a bad
all right,
idea.
so I got to get a wig.
That's not a bad idea.
Fuck. All right.
That's not a bad
All
idea.
right, so
To
I'm gonna
promote
write
a
that
city.
down.
To promote a city. That's not a bad idea for a promotion. I'm not even fucking around.
Yeah.
You're in
No.
Boston and you go, guys, I was in Boston. My ticket sales were low. And people keep asking me about my shows. And then you put on a wig and you walk around and go, hey, man, do you know when Brian Callen's coming to town? You're like, no, but he's in Tarzana next week.
Okay, is that good?
That's a great fucking promo.
All right, fine, I'll do
And by
that
the way,
then.
you got to make the biggest people kill themselves by overanalyzing just a thought. Because once you turn on the camera, you will make it funny.
figure it
Once you turn on the camera,
But hey, do me a huge favor, guys, big favor. If you could hit that subscribe button, like button, and push the notification bell, truly helps this channel to rebuild and gain back what we lost. Thanks to a snitch and a rat like Mark Harley, who needs all the attention in the world and is a crybaby because he goes real life. Anyhow, that's another discussion for another day. I hope you guys well, have a great week, and I'll see all of you in the next video.